This is Anthony Rota, Member of Parliament for Nipissing-Timiskaming and Speaker of the House of Commons. With the COVID-19 pandemic having a major impact on our daily lives, I wanted to reach out to community leaders and business owners around the riding to check in on how they've handled the last year. It's been tough on all of us, but certain groups just continue to reinvent themselves and keep working at it. Today, I'm joined with Tara Windatt and Kelsey Ruhl, who organized the On the Edge Fringe Festival. Now, Tara and Kelsey, it's nice to see you and thank you for joining me today. Now, if someone were to say, okay, I've never heard of the Fringe Festival, how would you describe it and what would you want to tell them?
Well, a Fringe Festival basically is a platform where all artists of all different kinds of art can join together and have a platform to put their art up on that's not renting a very expensive theater. So what we do is we take over the Capitol Center for a week in the summer, and we use all of the venues we can find in there, and we host artists from all over the world and country.
Well, it's interesting. So, what kind of artists would you have coming to that? Like, what would be some of the examples, say, or the styles that are there?
So we've had comedians, we've had dancers. We had some incredible dancers last year called Point Tango. They're from Argentina, and they combine Argentinian dance with point ballet. So that was really incredible. And we've had like full plays. We've had works. Rod Carley came and he read some of his new works that he was working on for his book. All just kinds of things where artists can bring whatever they do and bring it to people and see kind of how it works, and it's really interesting. You always get something new every year.
Oh, it sounds really good, and it gives artists who are just starting or some not so starting an opportunity to show what they can do. And now that really gets them out there. Now with COVID, we've had a few changes, and I understand you're changing things as well. You're pivoting to somewhere else. How do you see yourselves changing, and how do we see the festival for 2021 unrolling?
Well, we are still waiting on some announcements. Because we work from the Capitol Center, we need to make sure that we're following their Safety and Standards Act as well. One thing that was really interesting that came out of what happened last year, where we pivoted online, was we had people tuning in that wouldn't normally be able to come to the festival, whether it was because of location or because of accessibility. So we've kind of reached a new audience in that way, which is why no matter what happens in the future, we do plan on keeping a digital aspect of our festival. And if we do go completely online again this year, we're ready. We've had the year to kind of learn from what happens when you go onto a digital platform, and we've kind of been able to brush up on our digital skills, I think, like everyone has, and we're ready to really rock it and make it better and bigger than last year.
Oh, that sounds great. And here we are online with we're talking. So it's interesting how as humans we tend to adapt to whatever is thrown at us, and that's why we're still here after all this time. So that's a great thing. Now, I understand you got some funding to help out from the Heritage Ministry to help with maybe tell us a little bit about how that helps and how that keep you going over the next few years.
Yes, recently got notification that we received funding through the Canadian Arts Presenters Fund, delivered by Canadian Heritage. And really, it's just going to help us keep going this year. Like, it's going to help offset staff costs. It's going to offset artist fees, even like just our organizational day-to-day expenses. And it's really, really great news.
That's great. Now, how many people would you have involved? Like, how many people would be working at this over a period of time to make sure it happen? I mean, I'm sure you've got volunteers, you've got staff. I'm curious to see how many, because often you see organizations doing great things and not a lot of people working there, or they have a lot of people involved, and the volunteers that come out, God bless them, because I mean they really do put their soul into this.
Yeah, so we have 2 part-time staff, so that's Kelsey and I. We also access funding through Canada Summer Jobs, which we recently received notification that we got positions through that again this year, which is also great.
Perfect.
And then we usually hire people to help, like a technical director. We have an education coordinator who helps with our training program. We have a social media coordinator. So yeah, like kind of a small core team, but then we get to use Canada Summer Jobs to help bring in other people to help.
Perfect. And for volunteers, let's say somebody wanted to volunteer or help out, is that something that they can, is there a number or there is a site where they can kind of get involved or find out a little bit more about it?
Absolutely, we're always looking for volunteers because we're a nonprofit organization. We're really about like community and having people be involved, even if it's just for the festival week. We're always looking to meet new people and bring people into the team. So you can email me at kelsey@ontheedgefringe.com or reach out through any of our social media platforms.
Is there anything else you'd like to tell people before we sign off?
Sure. Well, you know what? As a community booster project, we're actually putting up a monologue series festival right now. It goes up online from the 17th to the 22nd, and we actually have 24 artists from local and other areas participating. They're submitting monologues that we're going to be putting up on YouTube and our Facebook page. Just something to kind of say, hey, artists, we're still here. Come work those theater muscles with us and just kind of have a community event together. So if you're interested or anyone else that is interested, that's going up from the 17th to the 22nd. And you can find more information on our webpage, fringenorth.com.
Oh, perfect. Perfect. Well, Tara, Kelsey, thank you very much for joining me this morning.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us.